Welcome back. There was a time in Jamaica when Carnival celebrations were so engaging, so enormous. It dominated the pop culture offerings leading up to and during the Easter season.
Every man, woman, and child, they wild. Everybody going mad.
The return of that spirit is being pursued right now, and if two of Jamaica's biggest corporate brands have their way, will be reawakened as early as this season. The brands are Appleton Special and Digicel, with plans to take Carnival to the streets of Jamaica, right across the island, to every parish. Representing Appleton Special is Gary Dixon and Kamal Powell, Senior Sponsorship Manager at Digicel. Gentlemen, welcome.
Welcome, boss.
Welcome, sir. Gary, jump in and tell us, what is the motivation for bringing, reawaken the spirit? That spirit existed before across the island. We've seen Carnival on the streets of Jamaica before. Why are you guys bringing it back now?
I think we're seeing a resurgence of the culture where people are loving Carnival. Last year, on the road with the Bacchanal unit and other Carnival platforms that existed last year, we saw where a lot of Jamaicans got involved and love soca music. They also love other music within Carnival. But what we realized is that it was consuming. So the social media activations that we did, we saw a lot more engagement. The talk about, we heard people, and nobody is rejecting or nobody is saying anything bad about the kind of music or the platform.
Okay.
They're more embracing it. So we thought it's now a really good time to take it a little wider outside of the Kingston.
So, because there was a decline, and it had, in my view, Carnival was declining in Jamaica for a while. Are you saying that it turned around last year, based on the numbers that came out to Bacchanal?
I think Jamaicans are always music lovers, and it's important for us as big brands to come on board to ensure that music gets right across Jamaica. For many years, Barley used to take Carnival across Jamaica, but since, Jamaica Carnival no longer exists, there was a big gap in the community development, and from a Digicel standpoint, we want to connect with consumers in the community.
Okay.
And the partnership between us and Appleton is really about getting the community connection by moving around the island and bringing the music and the love for music back to the audience and back to our consumers.
All right, so could you take that question from me, Gary? Because maybe you could answer it, because you were talking about what you saw at Bacchanal last year. Could you answer the question about a turnaround of the stagnancy that existed previously? Was Carnival 2014 in Jamaica better than previously?
What we saw was more people were coming out, not just to Bacchanal, but to other Carnival platforms. So you had like Sun Nation and other new platforms that came up last year, and people were coming out. In fact, what we even saw was that there were more people coming into Jamaica, even Trinities that were coming into Jamaica. And I remember one Trinity said to us that where we are now is where Trinidad was 10 years ago in terms of looking on the landscape in Jamaica, how many different properties, Carnival properties there were, including Bacchanal, including the various promoters that had I Love Soca, all of these things, the Cooler Fets and so that are now there. And they're saying that, where Carnival is, they can see where Jamaica definitely is growing. And I think when Peter and myself from Digicel, when we sat, we said, I think it's time for us as brands that this is a platform that it needs some encouragement. Michael and his team has really done an exceptional well, Michael Amar and the Bacchanal team, in terms of holding it for years. And, we have his blessings, for example, to make sure that we can go broader with Carnival, because the wider we go, is the better it is for everyone.
That's what Carnival is.
Yeah.
It's inclusive, it's mass, it should be big and inclusive, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so you put your Digicel marketing and financial resources behind the celebration this year, and are taking it to all the urban centers across the island?
Yes, definitely. We'll have 8 major stops across the island, and most of it will be outside of Kingston. So starting next week in Portland, and we're going to St. Anne, and of course we'll be in St. Catherine as well. And you can check our Facebook pages for details about Appleton and Digicel. We'll also be doing minor stops on the road, so we have about 200 minor stops, which is pretty much building the vibe to the 8 big major events, and that will have great soca music, great music in general for consumers to come on board, and you can go out and get their prizes and surprises from Digicel and Appleton, and of course have a great time.
Okay, so it's free to the public.
It is free to the public, and what we want to do is to make sure that people can engage with our brands in the way that we have seen them doing, but even more. It is a big investment for us, for both companies, to be taking on something that isn't necessarily generating a lot of revenue in this infancy.
Yes.
But we think it's important to get out there. We like the support that we've been getting from people like Onstage and from other media partners who are supporting us to make sure that we get the word out there and consumers can come out. We expect that in time, volumes of people will grow, and it will also contribute to our business bottom line, because we're not going to be doing something that at the end of,
So what about costume reveling? That's always a hurdle for Jamaicans.
Yes,
Can't
definitely.
afford costumes. Is there a plan to have costumed reveling in this effort?
Well, look, a big part of it is really around the community base in terms of Carnival. It's about you coming out and enjoying yourself.
So wear
what you want. There won't be any costume reveling, but of course we'll have girls on the ground dressed in costumes to bring a bit of the overall Carnival feel to all our events. But we want consumers to be comfortable in what they feel like wearing, come out and enjoy the overall fun, fair, and excitement. But of course, we have the Road March in Kingston as well. So if you want to come out and do that consumer reveling, you can come out to the other Carnival events in Kingston and do that. But for those connection points in the community, it's just building the community vibe and the spirit.
Kurt Riley is our host, quote-unquote house DJ for the series, and Miss Kitty, she will be leading in terms of from MC from the front.
Okay.
One of the things that we're going to have, I think, is the fact that you can buy Appleton there and get Digicel credit as part of the package. So there are things that you can enjoy Appleton and share your moments with Digicel in the same moment.
Even at the events, we'll be doing great giveaways, and of course, if you take a picture and you share the image on our Facebook page or our Instagram page, we'll be giving away prizes as well, so consumers will be able to interact and go back years after to see the true entertainment value that they had.
Okay, so you've reignited the spirit of Carnival, which is in all of us,
Definitely,
whether we
all of
want to
us.
accept it or
Yeah.
not. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. We're looking forward to being on the road with you and capturing it, the images, and putting it out to all our viewers around the world.
Yes.
And they'll be looking forward to see how Jamaica play mass.
Yes.
And compare it with the real mass players. All right, so you heard it. Onstage is all over it, and we'll be out there capturing and bringing back the story of this tremendous move to take Carnival to the streets of Jamaica. All right, stay with us. Coming up right here on stage, the incredibly romantic dancehall Ras, while Tifa, the diva, brings her jealousy over Dexter Daps to our stage. All coming up. We'll be back.
Ooh, baby, oh God, your love is sitting for me jealous over.